Well, hello and welcome. I'm Peasant. I'm going to be taking on Sweden 4 with green here. Old spread of rampant green. And this is actually my third attempt at this recording. I thought, hey, I'll get up early in the morning and I'll be able to record 2 this morning instead of 1. But I kept making very, very basic mistakes. Which sometimes I make a mistake and it feels like it's just too much to bear. And I have to do a retake. And yeah, that's what's happened. So very easy to make targeting mistakes with this spirit because your things you rely on sacred sites, and you often remove your sacred sites. Yeah, so that's can be a tricky one. So I want to probably go with some stemming the flow of fresh water in here, destroy the town that I'm about to build. So I do definitely want a presence in here, and I also want a presence in here. But as I've gone for this is a presence not in a jungle wetland, so I probably want to place it somewhere else if I can. I say that, but if I place this first presence anywhere but in there, I won't necessarily have the sacred site I need. That's actually at 1 range. Oh. So I need to place in one of these to actually get over there. Let's place in here, and then we can place this in here, and then I can proliferate and stem. So this gives me the Creeper's Tear. This little combo destroys a town, but you need to be in there and you need to be adjacent to a sacred site. But with proliferation I'll make a sacred site here, or I'll forget. Let's see if I remember. And I'm going to put it in here just because the desert is much more awkward for me to place it. Okay, has he remembered? I think I have remembered. Okay. So we have sand stuff, so we can just let this build and then prevent the ravage, which I think is generally a reasonable thing to do. And I think I'm just going to go with this. Yeah, so I think we're just going to... Oh yeah, that's in the future. So I think we're preventing this ravage this turn, so we can use our every turn kind of presence for that. And then what are we thinking about next? We've got this sand here. So I can push this town out in the slow phase, maybe push it to the coast. So again, I need to be... Oh, I don't actually need to be in there for that one. But yeah, so that's probably what I'm going to do, but I don't need to worry about that bit of targeting there. This land is going to clear itself in the ravage. I like it. Nice one, land. So in order to play Overgrown and not to get into a horrible reclaim loop, I am going to go with this. Is that right? Yeah, gaining a power card. And what do we get? Gift of Constancy is an amazing card. I love it. I love it so much. And I think of this motley crew. I mean, the other thing we have is we're against Sweden. Once we get into this Act 2 and later, or we've got the problem of them flirting with our Dahan. So we could just take this to push the Dahan together. What I mean by that is this adversary effect. If they explore in the with their escalation, that actually steal one of your Dahan and turn it into huts. And it's actually pretty bad. So I could go with lure just to actually prevent that from happening. So not lure, that's gathering their invaders. So call to isolation. Maybe feel like a bit of a waste. And I'm not going to be able to do it this turn, so I'm going to be flying. I'm going to be taking a risk this turn, and then next turn, if one of them has been converted, I guess I'll push into here, I suppose. Yeah, I think so. It's going to be sad to. I'm just going to pretend I didn't see Gift of Constancy there. This is the old put your head in the sand technique. Works well for ostriches. It's going to work well for me. Of course, ostriches don't really do that. I don't think. Got a lot of these phrases. They're all lies. Okay, let's overgrow it here, I suspect. Shouldn't... there's a build this turn. I think to also remember that I forgot one of my early ones today is that towns are doing 3 and cities are doing 5. So you really, very much with Sweden, you want to kind of prevent those ravages as green. Or is this just the land I let go? That's the other question. The other thing. I mean, we do have a dude in there. Got to think of the little ones. Yeah, it's going to be fine. Because it would be good to get up to 4 actions. So I can prevent this ravage, and I will. And I'm going to allow this build. And wetlands, we've got lucky over there, so the call to isolation will be irrelevant. So I am going to push this town somewhere out of the way, so not into any of these places. So probably into this forest, especially this forest. It's kind of easy for me to deal with. This creeper's tetamorph is going to do nothing for me, so I'm going to creep it a little bit and then push it, so that we don't have to worry about this ravage. And we'll push it to the coast. Generally, pushing to the coast is not a bad thing to do. And so this ravage is fine. This ravage is also fine. We can prevent this ravage. This one, the Dahan will fight back. And we have builds in the wetlands. So I mean, this does seem like a stupid thing to do, but preventing them from cheesing a town, eating my Dahan is pretty good. And if I push them together, then that'll be the result. So I think I am actually going to have a slightly odd call to isolation turn. So it's probably not going to be the most effective turn the world's ever seen. I mean, I could just reclaim, actually. If I reclaim and go to 4, but the thing is, actually, no, I would be able to play some cards. That would probably just be better. Probably would just be better than doing this. Because we've got our own, because we've got cards, some of our power cards actually grow us as a spirit, get our presence on the board. That actually means that the reclaim isn't quite so punishing for us. It isn't so punishing. It would be good to kind of get in here. So with the towns doing 3 damage, but actually next turn, if we get this defend 4, that'll be enough to deal with a town plus the explorer there. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with this. I'm going to hopefully gain a useful card. Oof, I said gain a useful card. So steam vents might have the best icons for us. We like having a mountain kicking around. Moon mountain options, uncanny melting. I mean, I like blight removal. Steam vents. Wow, we can actually prevent a build with steam vents. That feels like a pretty good thing to do on a weird little turn like this. So we'll keep on adding presence. So because we're going to reclaim next turn, I'm going to just take that 4th play. Just going to take it. And we're going to destroy this guy. Well, actually we could destroy this guy, but we'll fight these guys on the fight. We'll defend here, and these guys will clear this area out. So we're going to do these things here. These things, we can steam vents in there and prevent that build. And we can push these guys in with each other. We'll push them into the... Oh yeah, this guy's actually about to do something useful for us. So we'll push this guy into here. Rather, because he's going to clear this land on the fight back. So we've got a ravage, we'll prevent that. We'll prevent that. So yeah, just see, that was pretty good. I actually feel that there was a bit of a weird little turn. I did prevent us from losing a Dahan and them from just gaining a town. So we're definitely a reclaimer here, and got lots of energy as well because we did do that weird little turn. And something I feel like I'm noticing is that it is good to just have a little bit of a bank of energy. It gives you a lot more flexibility. A lot more flexibility. Right. So we have ravage here for. So if we can play 2 blues, we should almost certainly will have the greens. Actually, we do have a lot of other bobbins. If we can play 2 cards with blue on, we should be good to get our innate defense. Can we even get up to this? This would be pretty ideal. We need to obviously uncover a plant, but we're going to have to anyway. Could we do that? just need 3 blues. Wow, we might even be able to do that. That's pretty appetizing. That's pretty appetizing. So that's a problem. We need to place a presence in there. Do we care about removing blight? We've got our own pretty good blight removal powers, but this does have the blue-green, though the green is a side issue. Let's go with sap. I think we go with sap here. And here's something to notice: there isn't a single sacred site on the map at this point. It's so easy to mess up. I'm going to place a sacred site in here. No, here, because it targets. Having a sacred site here kind of targets half. It means I've got sacred site access to half the map. All right, so we've got 6 energy. We've got this ravage. So I'm going to go with the slightly greedy play. That will mean, hopefully, so I need, what am I missing? Oh, I don't have enough greens. Oh, okay, yeah, I can't actually do it. I don't have the steam vents doesn't provide me green, so I can't be the greedy little greed goblin that I wanted to be. Fine game. I think we still want to be greedy in a different way, though. We want to get as many of our powers on the map. Ooh, our creepers are starting to really build up too. We are a little short on moons, though. So we're defending in here. So to defend this we actually need 2 blues. Steam vents. Do we have a good steam vent? We don't have an amazing steam vent. But every little helps. Every little helps, because the towns being 3 with Sweden means that just if we can steam vent this, then we can defend this just with just the base tier, all enveloping green. This is getting a bit out of hand. This area here. And we could just defend this with sap. I mean, there's no need to get into all this. Call to Isolation is actually a pretty powerful card. See, I can push with it as well. I can push these guys out of here, preventing the ravage altogether, which is pretty. It's more powerful than it looks. We could just push them into this area here, just forget all about them, or just kind of focus entirely on growing. And just do some creeping in here. Tricky. We'll see. There is a benefit to wiping them out with the Dahan, so I will go with that. We'll go with that. We just use sap. Yeah, maybe we try and go with just a growth and off-brand turn. So we're going to be placing lots of presents. We've got one more play. These Dahan are going to clear this land for us. We need to make a sacred site in here. Maybe even make a triple, which is a good way of making your life slightly easier as the spirit. And we've got some decent creeping going on as well. So I think go with flow. And so what I'm thinking is, because we've got a double creep, we can use flow and destroy a city, which is pretty nice. Pretty nice. Okay, so actually this is just more defense than we need, so kind of wasteful. That's okay. I think getting these 2 presents out is just worthwhile, even if it is another slightly odd turn. So this is defended. We definitely want a presence in here. And I think we may even want another presence in there. Though, actually, maybe in here is slightly better. This is more awkward for us, so yeah, go with that. So we're very close to finishing our tracks now. Very close. Okay, so I'm going to allow that build. With Sweden, is the ravage that's worrying, not so much the build. Okay. So yeah, very pleased with myself for putting these 2 Dahan together. And we'll kill this city. Oh. Oh yeah, it actually... I forget that it actually can target multiples. Oh my god, I finally destroyed something. Okay, so we have ravages here. We're just gonna sack presents to kind of pay those off. And then we've got all this weird business. And we have a build here. Again, this is going to be something else we deal with the... something we deal with probably by using our choke the land with green ability, though. Yes. Probably want to switch into actually doing some proper damage soon. So this might... I mean, the thing is that this I mean, what does this tand even... What do we even achieve here? Actually, vents can prevent a build here. So that's pretty good. I mean, so yeah, it's a slightly odd turn. I think... Well, and I'm just seeing how Call to Isolation could be really useful here to prevent a build. So I'm not sure I would forget. Maybe Overgrown a Knight. Because it's quite expensive, doesn't do a lot. And I think I'm going to go look at a major. Let's see what we get. Okay. Power Storm, Talons of Lightning, Mists of Oblivion. Not the ideal things, I'm afraid. I mean, Talons of Lightning is okay, but we're not going to get any thresholds anytime soon with the icons, the elements we have to hand. I mean, this is mildly a combo, 1 damage to each invader with our stem the flow. We can potentially kill all infinite towns with that and gain a whole load more fear. And actually we were a bit moony already, we're a bit purpley even, we're a bit blue, so I think Mists of Oblivion is the one, but I refuse to feel good about it. Okay, let's get rid of Overgrown a Knight, I think. With Heavy Heart. We'll get rid of that. So, yeah, we're preventing both of those ravages. We're going to Steam Vents for that build. So as we're burning these sacred sites, we do want to replace them. Let's add let's put a 3rd presence in here. Then we don't... Actually, no, let's put a presence in here so we've got good access. Yeah, because we want to have a sacred site adjacent to this as well. So, Mists of Oblivion. So if we think this is not a good hand for Mists of Oblivion particularly either. We definitely want to Steam Vents and to kill this fella here. And the thing is, pushing a town's quite significant against Sweden, but I think I'm just better off preventing the Ravage altogether. Mists of Oblivion is way too expensive to play on its own for minimal benefit. So is that what we're doing? That doesn't feel great. So I mean, we could play it to respond to and explore, but that feels horrible. I think that's what we do. Another slightly weird turn. And I must have just played this on instinct because I'm not sure why I played it at all. Early morning. It's the early morning delirium here. I mean, we could start thinking about centralizing people for some murder. Thinking about Mists of Oblivion and Stem. Just centralizing towns somewhere, so we could push this guy into this desert. Because it has to be mountain or desert to use it. Yeah, let's do that. Each player removes something from a land with a sacred site. Okay. Well, this is our death land, so... And this is also a big cluster of people, so I think we'll remove from this land. Remove that town. Jungle Ravage we prevent. Jungle Ravage we prevent. And Sand Build we allow. I think sometimes you want to prevent the build. I mean, it is a city build, but I think sometimes you want to prevent the build, but not this day. Okay, so we can then, yeah, I think we make a death land in here. Push this town in there. We have the unusual luxury as the spirit of just being able to have lands that are massively overbuilt. It's just no biggie. No biggie. So we're definitely reclaiming here, probably going for another major. Maybe. Actually, can I trigger the bonus on this? Moons are easy, air and water less so. Oh, I've actually got some air and water. Is it 3 air? Very airy. There's some pretty good mages, and I'm kind of I think I should go for a minor here. I mean, yeah, it's such an odd collection of cards I've assembled here. And these ravages are kind of, well, these two are a problem. This one will clear itself out, which is very considerate of it. Actually, no, it won't. This is fine. This is fine. Well, it's definitely a reclaimer. So we're at the end of our tracks now. So we're not so worried about reclaiming all the time. Maybe we don't. Maybe we're going to be doing any more call to isolation. It's going to be quite useful for herding people into this this fun land here where they're all going to die. And it's probably it's even worth doing this turn. Going for mists and stem to just destroy all the towns. Especially if I can push a few more towns in there, which I will be able to. So yeah, maybe that's the turn. So obviously it'd be nice to do a bit of extra damage, kill that city. So to facilitate that, yeah, I'm going to go with a minor here. I feel although this is a motley collection of cards, they all have a price. Words are hard, okay? Obviously entrancing apparitions are perfect for mists. These are good icons for us anyway. I'm a big fan of Rain of Blood. Both the Slayer song and this particular card. I mean, we can even entrancing apparitions to bring explorers in to murder with Mists of Oblivion. That does feel just a bit too perfect. But Rain of Blood is 3 fear. Effortless 3 fear. But we're not that moony. I think we do definitely go with this. Going for that mist value. So we're finally going to get up to here, and let's go put this up here to prevent this ravage. So we still have a healthy island, so I probably could afford to let some of this go a little bit. So Gift of Proliferation at this point is also kind of useless. I can't place this destroyed presence with steady regeneration. I only get to place that from these growth actions up here. So this is actually a useless card. I probably should have forgotten that earlier. Okay, so what do I need? I just need one more purple, and then I'm going to trigger. So I'm going to be able to kill this city. So that's obviously with stem. So actually, the trouble is it does just take up almost my entire turn to do this. And I want to push another town in there, so that's fields choked with growth. So yeah, another slightly odd looking turn. We're going to push the town that's just built in here into there. We can... Oh no, we're not going to be able to drag any explorers in there. Just read the card, peasant. It's really easy if you read the card. Maybe going for the threshold effect isn't necessary, and I haven't even successfully got the threshold effect. Why is that? Not enough air in our lives. Okay. So we have to go steam beds. Yeah, and that's the question. Do I actually need to go for the threshold effect? Am I just being greedy? Because if I have Creepers, Tenants, and Mortar, I can just use that instead. And there's no need for all this nonsense. Because if I'm doing Stem and Mists, that's basically 2 damage to everything in here. So all I need is a bit of creeping. Yeah, so I think that's actually fine. So I don't need to worry about getting the threshold on this. What I do need, though... Well, I don't need it. Jesus, I don't need it. But it would be good to, yeah, just push in an extra town. That's fine. this is fine. Okay, so we're going to... Oh yeah, we haven't actually thought about... It doesn't matter where I play this, as I'm playing it purely for icons. And this defend is pointless too, because this is going to be a lot of damage altogether. It's going to be, what, 14, 17 damage. I can't defend it. I'm just going to put those in there anyway. Okay, so we're going to prevent this ravage. I mean, it's just such a powerful ability, and we'll allow that. We'll allow it. And yeah, so the Creeper's Tear, we will be able to clear this land. Lovely stuff. So we're going to push a town into here, and obviously we're going to push a town that is problematic, as I guess it doesn't really make much odds. Because we've got sap. Oh, we're not actually in there. Yeah, let's push this town from here. Let's push you in there. And then I need to do this in the right order, because if I destroy buildings with this, it gets me extra fear. So I need to do it in the right order. So I will do this in here, targeting a city, and do it again in there, targeting a city. Then I will stem, and then I will mists. So that should be pretty good. Very misty. Feels okay. Wow, 3 fear cards, just like that. You see what happens? Okay, so we can prevent this ravage with our incredible... I mean, this ability is just insane. Choke the land with green. And a lot of the reputed strength of the spirit is in conjunction with how it powers up other spirits, but even just doing its own thing, it's still pretty ridiculous. So we can... So how do we defend this? Oh, we could steam vents even. So we need to be actually in there to do that. So it was a mistake. I should probably have forgotten Gift of Proliferation earlier instead of land choked with green. So we could reclaim here. And maybe even do a similar thing. Of course, we need mountain or sand to really do the wombo, because that's the requirement for stem. So maybe we start thinking about pushing people into this land here. Maybe that's the thing to do. But this land here feels like maybe we can just slap it. We could just slap it. Or the other question is, can I have an off-brand turn and still actually do something useful? I mean, I've got a good amount of energy now, but I think reclaim is probably the right thing to do, because of just none of my useful cards are here. This ravage is going to be what, 5, 8, 11. So I can't really do much about that. Mists of Oblivion with its threshold effect is actually going to be pretty good still, because that extra 3 damage is going to be worthwhile. So I think I'm going to reclaim and maybe look at another major, especially we've got a very forgettable Gift of Proliferation there. Just to kind of finish off these pesky Swedes. Hey, Jungle Hungers! So Mateus, you're listening, I did actually read it correctly this time. Unusually. Jungle Hungers, of course, is great, though we have got rid of most of our moons. We might even end up wanting to use Gift of Proliferation just for its moon. But yeah, this is a perfect card for us. I think Blazing Renewal is also pretty rad, but we're unlikely to get the Threshold. Do we care about the Threshold? I mean, this is an amazing card too. Just straight up an amazing card. Because we're basically placing a sacred site somewhere, and because we're constantly destroying our own stuff, it's just pretty good. Yeah, that is amazing. Do I care about the Threshold? Not really. I mean, Steam Vents gets us nearly there. And obviously the wombo of Blazing Renewal and our mists will just completely clear us a land. So that's pretty good. So, but the Jungle Hungers, look at it, I love it. Yeah, I think this is just the better play here, and we will get rid of Gift of Proliferation. I'm sorry, you've been great. Gonna have 8 energy, so we can't exactly afford, especially if we place a presence here. Let's make a sacred site in there. So it's going to cost me an energy. Oh, I would have been able to afford it. Okay, fine. So, I think, yeah, Blazing Renewal. I mean, that's going to be pretty good wherever we put it. So there's going to be a ravage here that we can prevent, and then we can just Blazing Renewal and clear out the land. As long as we've got the creepers tearing some mortar. Yeah, we're not very moony. Oh, we could actually finish off with Stem. That's a good point. Because there's going to be a sacred site there because we're placing one in there with the ability. So yeah, I think that's pretty good. So we do 2 damage to everything and then just do a stem damage to something else. That is going to be after the build, but it's just going to be another town that goes in there. That's the trouble, of course, with having splits between fast and slow phase. That's the trouble. So very, very troublesome. And mountain jungle build, so we can maybe push a town into here and make us another kind of deathland. Or we can be frugal and save up for a better turn next turn. How are we doing for time? We're okay. Four explore cards left. And the other, well, actually, we could Blazing Renewal in here and we could just forget that land ever existed. That's reasonable. I mean, and save up for the. Actually, no, it makes more sense. I don't want to go too circular. It makes more sense to actually just hit one of these lands. It's just we can't clear it out because we don't have fast phase damage. So I guess that's the weakness. Yeah, the weakness. But I quite like placing in here. I think that's pretty good. So maybe we do that as a kind of separate thing. We've got this business here. We can entrancing apparitions. See, this is a really good entrancing apparitions. We could drag them out and maybe use mists. Oh, we've got loads of explorers in there. Maybe this is. I just kind of got a bit of an embarrassment of riches here, which is the correct collective term for multiple riches, by the way. So, yeah, let's just try this and get the threshold. We just need one more air. We have... Oh, we can even just use call to isolation. Yeah, I've just got too many good things here. Too many. So we can push these guys into here, and then we can mess them around. So we've got the top tier. So we can do 1 damage to everything. We've even got a creeper's tear to mortar. Tear into mortar. So we can destroy a town. There's going to be an extra town in there. We're going to get an extra 3 damage. It's going to not exactly clear it. Maybe if we stem as well. The stem will then be another damage. So we're going to have 1 damage to everything in the slow phase. Plus 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. So that should clear that land. Being a bit loose with these calculations. I think it's partly habit from playing the with events. We could even pull this guy out of there. Not much benefit to that though. Not much benefit. Oh, actually, weirdly, there is... No, there's no benefit. I was thinking I could pull this guy in here, they'd be killed in the ravage, but that is actually pointless. I'll just defend in there. Yeah, another slightly untidy turn. So what happens when you go off brand? So we'll remove a town. It's good. Oh, scapegoats, good old scapegoats. Invaders do not build in lands where huts outnumber buildings, huh? Okay, so we do prevent this ravage, and we allow this build. It's just more food for us, basically. Sand and mountain explore. Right, so we need to make sure that our mists are the thing that does the killing. So it's going to do 1 damage to everything and then 3 damage. So that's going to take 2, and then that's... So actually, we only need to do 1 bit of creeping in here. So I can destroy a town somewhere else. I've probably over here. So I'll go in here, I'll creep a little bit on that. So so basically 3 excess damage, which we do have from mists. So I should be able to go over here and do a bit of creeping. Let's creep in there. Let's creep in there. Then we can mists in here, which is pretty good. That's a lot of fear cards. Okay, so we have mountain and jungle ravage. So we've got the nice thing where the terrain types line up, which works out pretty well for us. So this is nothing to worry about. This, we could just let this go, is the truth. Especially as this is a mountain, so it's very easy for us to just wipe that out. So let's focus over here. So Sweden, this is a 6 attack. We have sapped the strength of multitudes. And maybe we've even got we have a lot of options here. Truth be told, let's try and make sure we've got enough energy. And I think maybe we blazing renewal in here. I mean, yeah, we've got all the options. So yeah, let's just get a nice useful miner to go with this. Dark and Tangled will help us with generating fear. I mean, obviously we're generating some fear now that we're doing these big clears. And this is Moon Mountain. We like that. We like that a lot. Oh, maybe I could have looked and seen about something to go with the Blaze Renewal, but actually I think that's just being excessively greedy. And there's no need for that. So we'll just put this in here, I think. And I mean, this is pretty decent. So let's... It feels a shame that there aren't any Dahana there, but I'll somehow find a way to get all the adversity. So we want a sap to defend in there. I think this is worth playing just for the fear. I mean, 2 fears is not to be sniffed at. You go sniffing around at that. Actually, steam vents here prevent this build is probably better. Truth be told. I mean, though we are going to be doing mass destruction, so we could just push in here. I think I'm actually going to, having just said that, I'm going to prevent a build with steam vents. Okay, so we can defend in there. We can steam vents in there. There's Dahan in there, so you can let them fight back. And then we can blazing renewal somewhere. We could do a very, very costly build prevention. Or we could just go in here. Oh, target myself, of course. And go in there. So we can prevent that ravage. And defend for... somewhere. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The fear is palpable. So we can remove... So that guy's going to remove themselves anyway. So yeah, let's... remove them. Though actually we probably wanted to push that into there, but never mind. Okay. So Dahan damage, I guess we just do that. Get ahead of the game. Okay, so we are gonna actually we don't even need to do this, we can allow that ravage. This one is worth preventing though. Where are we with our cards? We must be doing okay. How many cards do we need? Still a fair number. Alright, so we have sand ravages that don't matter. We have a mountain ravage that doesn't matter. We have this mountain ravage, which does matter. We don't actually have any towns to push in there. We could... I wonder if we can get the defense up in here. So currently this ravage is looking at a 5, 8, 9 ravage. We could have 5 defense... 8 defense. Let's just check my maths. We could actually defend in there. So, yeah, maybe we push some dudes in. Maybe that's what we do. From here, because there's no ravage there this turn. Just get these guys involved, you know. They'll be left on the sidelines. So this is a reclaimer. We actually don't have much energy. We just don't have much energy. Okay, so we're probably going to go for a miner here. And... drift down into slumber, huh? I was thinking mainly for the icons, but maybe we're not too worried about those icons. reaching grass does solve some problems with ranging, but I don't know. I think the problem I have here is more likely to be just running out of time because I'm not being brutal enough. We could even think about drought, because we are just, I mean, we're still on a healthy island. I don't think a single blight has gone down all game. We could do some of that. It also has Fire Mountain, which could be good for Blazing Renewal. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's a fair amount of destruction. We've already got a fair amount of destruction. It might be good to finish off, and I don't think these other ones are actually that important. Okay, so add a presence. So let's add to this one that doesn't have. And we could, at this point, it might be worth preventing builds just to get to the end. Get to the end. So we can clear this land using our old trick. Let's use multiple old tricks. Blazing Renewal. The nice thing, but we resolved that we were going to defend in here. Well, I did that. So we can do that with sap, and with this. It's a bit of an odd little business here. Maybe we can blaze, and then what are we short? Yeah, this is the trouble when you just have a mix of all sorts of bobbins. You just you don't know who you are anymore. We need to do some decent destruction, and there's actually quite an annoying number of builds here that we want to prevent. We could even use entrancing apparitions to just prevent 2 builds, which is pretty amazing. Maybe I think this is just a waste of plays. What I'm thinking about over there. I think we go with entrancing apparitions to prevent this sand and this wetland build by dragging them into, say, here. Well, that's the only place we can drag them. So, given that that's actually useful to us, I think then the mists become obviously a good thing to do. We just need 1 air to to trigger the threshold, which is great. That's it's a good threshold. The trouble we have is that we planned to defend in here, so we don't have extra presence in there. So we don't have any purple-green cards. I guess is that an unusual combo? I think it might be. So I think something like that. Can we leverage our all-enveloping green ability? So we've got plenty of blues. So if we go with a green card. So actually, yeah, that does kind of work. We don't get the benefit. I mean, we could just let this go. I mean, it's a bit brutal. Those Dahan have been with us since the start. But I think that's what we have to do. Otherwise, we're just not making the progress we want. So we drag these guys in here. We can also steam vents to prevent this build, or this build even. Actually, no, this is preventing itself. So we prevented all our builds, and we're also going to be clearing this land. So that feels pretty worthwhile. And we're going to be a bit broke for next turn, unfortunately. And we've got some creepers we could be doing as well. How many creepers have we got? Just the 1. Maybe I should be thinking about using this action here more to gain an extra card play. So we've got double creepers now, so we can actually destroy the city in the slow phase. Well, maybe we're going to finish it this turn. Maybe we are. I think maybe we are. Okay, so we're going to entrance these fellas. Come on in. Come on in. And then we're going to prevent this build here. And then... yeah, so we're letting this one go. A little bit bad about that. Well, not that bad. Let's just put in a little bit of defense, just so I can pretend. You're like, yeah, we sent in some defense. Oh no, the island's blighted. Uh-oh. 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 Okay, right, so now we can do that, and we can do this, and we can do this. So that city's out of here, and then I think this should be it. should be it. It is done. So yeah, that was green solo. Took me 3 attempts because I kept on making very basic mistakes involving forgetting to use sacred sites or thinking that I needed sacred sites, that kind of thing. So thanks very much. I've been Peasant. Like, subscribe's really appreciated. Dual spirit run-throughs coming soon-ish. If you have any suggestions, feel free to comment down below or just comment. I like talking about Spirit Island. So yeah, go for it. Look stuff out. So thanks so much and catch you next time.